Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Daryl Walter Show. I am your host, DW. How's everybody doing out there? I hope everyone has had an amazing week. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, share, share to everybody. We're going to talk about the elephant in the room, the Black church and homosexuality. I was trying to think of a cute way to say it, the Black church and community. And listen, the reason why I said church and community, and side note, shout out to everybody while you're watching this on the live and out there on the replay. And shout out to Bullet in Flight Radio and those who are listening. I said the Black church and the Black community because I believe, greetings, Dr. Holt. We gonna converse today. We gonna talk today because I realize we need to, okay? Because it's a lot going on. And I said the Black church and the Black community because I have always felt that the Black church is a direct correlation or connection to the community. Many times you see the politicians, when they want to get a word out or get people to be aware that they are running for a position, what do? They go to the Black church, right? And because many of us come from the Black church, if we do not go to church, there is at one point that we went to church or we know someone who attends a Black church, whether it is Baptist, whether it is apostolic, whether it is AME, or whether it is, this is the church of God in Christ. Ooh. I had to. No shade to any other denomination. But we're going to talk about it because I realize that it is a conversation that, some people will say, well, Daryl, I'm so sick and tired of talking about it. I'm so sick and tired of going about it over and over again. It keeps coming up and I'm tired of it. Listen, I am tired of it too. But it is a conversation that needs to be had until we get to some sort of resolution. And shout out to Jamal Bryant, O.C. Allen, Dr. Dante Morrison, and many people out there who are building that bridge, building those conversations. But today there's some things that we need to talk about because I've come to some conclusions about some stuff. Okay, let's just get into what went viral. So because it's a lot of stuff going in and what went viral too. We're gonna talk about that girl today, baby. We're gonna talk about Carly. But first of all, it's hot. Okay, it's hot everywhere. I live in Las Vegas. Okay, this is brought to you live from Las Vegas, a place where it is hot. You ain't never heard me complain about the heat. But the other day it was 110 with 50% humidity. And apparently it's hot everywhere. If you in Italy and if you in Alaska, and listen, baby, if it ain't hot where you at, then you probably somewhere around a bunch of water, because you're being drowned out by the rains and the tornadoes. Somebody said, is this the time where they said in the Bible? I don't know. But let's just play that little clip so y'all see. And if it's hot out there, I'm in the hell of it. I'm not even in the hell of it because the place in Death Valley is 134. Play the clip. The people melting around the world. Look at this.
Staying with
Around the world,
extreme
Dr.
weather and
Hope.
brutally high temperatures are making their way across the globe. Nearly a third of Americans, that's around 113 million people, are currently under heat advisories all the way from Florida to California and up to Washington state. Some authorities are warning that the temperatures could be deadly. The US joins a number of southern European nations in the grip of a heat wave, including Italy, which has issued red alerts for 16 cities.
You can pause the clip. Shall we get it's hot everywhere. It's fires in Canada. It's burning everywhere. So let me say this. I brought this up because I want to share with y'all how to stay hydrated because water ain't gonna do it. Okay, you drinking all that water, you still hydrated. You got to eat your water. What am I saying? Include your greens if you juice out there, kale, spinach, watermelon, cucumber, and celery. Okay, stay hydrated out there. And those of you who live in fire-prone areas, make sure that you do what you got to do. Put the water around it, put the cement, I don't know, cut down the trees and everything. Because another thing, the insurance companies are tired of y'all and y'all claims. They are pulling out of certain states like Florida, and what a surprise. Baby, listen, I got the air and the fan on right now, and Mother Nature is still trying to pierce through my studio. But anyways, it's hot everywhere. Govern yourselves accordingly. It just rained a little and it's 84 now. See what I said? If it ain't hot, it's raining somewhere. And now it's 94. Govern yourselves accordingly. Govern yourselves accordingly. Now let's move on to, oh Lord. Okay. Because I love y'all, I watched the press conference and I took notes off of that too. Because I knew it was going to be some foolishness. For those of you who have been hiding under a rock, and aren't watching the news right now, Carly Russell. Let's just play the clip to get through it.
This morning, new revelations from law enforcement about the case of Alabama woman Carly Russell. The investigation captured national attention as the community searched for the 25-year-old nursing student for days. This after she pulled over when she said she saw a toddler alone on the side of a highway Thursday. Russell called 911 and then vanished.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running.
Now, police say there was no evidence of a toddler abandoned in the area, adding, nor did we receive any additional calls about a toddler walking down the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through that area. The Hoover Police Department also writing in a statement that before her disappearance, Russell picked up snacks from a local Target. Those snacks were not found at the scene, though Russell's belongings, phone, and wig were left behind. Russell returned on foot Saturday night, her parents describing her arrival to NBC News' Priscilla Thompson earlier this week.
She was not in a good state, so we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her.
But they declined to go into more detail.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
Police now say surveillance video shows Russell walking down the sidewalk alone, adding, when first responders arrived on scene, they found Miss Russell conscious and speaking. She was later treated and released from a local hospital. Russell's employer, the Woodhouse Spa Birmingham, saying overnight in a statement,
Kwame, do you have a picture of Carly? Can we see her? Beautiful baby, beautiful young baby. First of all, when let me just be honest. Let's just break it down. When I first heard the story, I didn't put too much into it. I just said, well, I hope they find her. Prayers up to her. It was Tamika Mallory that made me sit up, because Tamika Mallory, you can go to her Instagram. She was like, well, hold up, wait a minute. If they're going to give that much press, for people in the submarine, they got to do the same thing for this black girl right here. And on top of that, this is my sword. This is Tamika Mallory's sword. So if you don't know who Tamika Mallory is, she is a social justice warrior. She's in them streets, right? So I sat up. I said, well, let's find her. So this young lady, Pull that comment up again. I ain't even gonna read it. Pull that comment up again, baby. What Dr. Ho put down there. So I watched the press conference, okay? I said, well, let me watch the press conference, okay? Because immediately, and here was my issue. My first issue was, I'm not going to tear this black woman down. I'm not going to get up and join the bandwagon. She's a liar. She's this, she's that. Although, when we get into it, we're going to talk about it. And let me just say, no shade or anything, but the name Carly alone, it's not giving trustworthy. Okay, it's not giving, I believe her, but that's on anyways. So it was, listen, I wrote the names down. So it was the captain, Sis Khaliba, okay? And the mayor was there, Mayor Mercado, and also the chief, Darzies, and the lieutenant, okay, Daniel Lowe. Now, all four of them were really nice and seemed very trustworthy. I didn't get any shading. Actually, they seemed really, really nice. They seem like the type of people I would love to have them as neighbors, okay? Because they're going to look out for you. They're going to let you know if somebody was around your house or something. They're going to tell you if your tire is flat. You know what I'm saying? Just real nice people. Invite you to the barbecue. But that's it, okay? So let's just get into it, okay? First of all, after everything happened, they played the 911 call. Y'all, when I heard the 911 call, I said to myself, Daryl, hold your peace. Hold your judgment. Don't judge her. But it didn't sound very distressful because, listen, I took notes, baby. When I tell you I got all kind of notes, I took notes, okay? Because we got to get through this because this is a lot. Because I said to myself, even earlier, hush. Yeah, you're right, Sebastian, but hush. I agree with you. Hold on. You messing up the show. Apologies, y'all. Anyways, I said, where is the child? Where is this child? And when you hear the 911 call, I don't know about you, and I don't think you have to be a parent for this, but if I saw a child walking along the highway, I'd get out. How are you so calm? This is how she sounded, y'all. Hello, yeah, there's a child walking down the, yeah, about, okay. After I hear the 911 call, okay, after she gone and she says she done left, okay, they done found her wig, her phone, okay, were found in the field, and her purse and her iWatch, the iWatch was in the purse, we found in the car. I said, oh, that baby didn't want to be found. Oh, no, she didn't want to be found. Now, see, the police officers, this is what I like about the police officers, because they said, we don't suspect any foul play, and we don't know what happened because she done reported a baby. She said she was kidnapped by a man and a woman. Somebody had orange hair. They played with her hair, and they fed her cheese crackers in the morning. Who eats cheese crackers in 2023? Who eats cheese crackers in 2023? I'm trying. If you. Kwame, pull up I can't see all the comments, but it's just okay. Now let's get into so yes, when the baby came into the interstate, and the part about it is the officers were so nice because basically they said we're not calling her a liar, but the story ain't adding up because I don't know, no baby. 6 yards is 3 football. Okay. Internet searches. Because see, what happened was they brought the Secret Service in. Now, you know when they bring the Secret Service in, now they're looking at like, now hold on, wait a minute. It's something bigger here. Because ain't nobody calling 911 like that. The 911 operator didn't even sound like she believed her. But on July 11th at 7:30 in the morning, She was looking for how much money would you have to pay for an Amber Alert, like the fine or something. On July 13th at 1:03 in the morning, huh? Looking how to hey manager, how you doing? And we talking about this baby Carly. This is more than a mess, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you, on July 13th, 1:03 in the morning, she's looking at how to steal money out of a cash register and get away with it. On July 13th, also, she's looking for the bus station tickets. And then on July 13th, how old you got to be for what's the oldest for a child to be missing on the Amber Alert? They said she ordered food from Taziki's and went to Target and had granola bars. I'm gonna be honest. Well, it's not just, see, here's the thing. It's a warrant to arrest because she did she conspired the whole time. But can we find out why she conspired? What drove her to now the investigation is still open. That's why they haven't filed any charges. Although the public of court opinion, the court of public opinion, we have already judged her per se. I, on the Daryl Walter show, am not going to side with guilty or innocent right now. Okay? Because it's still pending, everything's open, they're still doing their good investigative work, which I appreciate. Okay, they doing this case very, very fair. Can't nobody say race, can't nobody say because she's a woman. They are handling this with care and respect and dignity. Now, what I will say is, if we gonna be in this business, if I'm gonna be invested in this, because y'all got me invested in this, I need to know why. I need to know why you would call 911 and possibly make up this story about a child walking down the street, about somebody kidnapping you, about you looking for a bus ticket. What are you running from? Who are you running to? Who is behind this? Because I'm just gonna say this on a whim, and I could be wrong, but she don't come across as the type to come up with this on her own. She just don't seem like she got that many marbles in the tank. Allegedly. A freaking allegedly. You can't, and then you get, listen, I bet she didn't think she was gonna get all this national attention. I don't know what man she did this for. You know what? I'm gonna be real with you, and we're gonna move on with this, and we're gonna come back to this, Kwame. We're gonna come back to this next week and do a follow-up, because I feel like there's gonna be a follow-up. I think this was a bad drug trip. Some sort of allegedly hazing of a sorority, allegedly, or there's some sort of man involved, allegedly. It's one of those three. That's what I'm saying. Right, Doc. Okay, you would listen. Oh wait, I'm not gonna come back next week because it's gonna be a rerun next week, and I think for the rerun we're gonna play the one about being delivered from homosexuality, because we're gonna stay on the subject. Just y'all come back and watch that. But when I come back, we're gonna have a major follow up with that, because that right there, I really hope to God she's not doing this for attention. I wouldn't be so. I don't want to believe that for the life of me. But looking at, ooh, don't she look like she do some trifling shit? She look like she do some trifling, allegedly ish. Let's move on from her, because she's just already on my nerves. I'm just, ooh, Carly girl. My coochie pink, my booty hole brown. I can then it's downtown, pound town. Drake in Sexy Red. Why Drake? It's like Drake has no boundaries whatsoever. Look at this. Look at this. Child. I mean, let's just be honest. No shade to Drake, but his past love interest ain't exactly allegedly. But if my girl see y'all backstage and the thirst gonna get smoky, PR stunt. PR. I don't think Drake in real life would, but I think for the attention, you know what? Let me say this: Sexy Red better ride this. Mother better ride this. If she ain't got another single up her sleeve, she better ride this. Come up with some T-shirts, get her money, and move on. Cause I can't do it. I mean, don't it look like it smell like the heat? It smelled like it. Oh, it looked like it smelled a little bit. Baby, listen. Back to Carly. If it turns out, I hope she got a mental illness or was a real bad drug trip and somebody drugged her, because otherwise, girl, everything is over for you. You just got to go high for 3 to 5 years and come back out and say sorry. That's really it. Can we move on from this Drake and Sexy Red picture? She just bothers my soul. Ooh, she bothers me. Happy birthday. It's cancer season. It's cancer season, right? Happy birthday to Wendy Williams. It was the other day, and I wanted to bring that up. Y'all didn't have to tell me I have something on the side of my face. I'm doing this talking. Happy birthday to Wendy Williams. You know what? I love Wendy. I miss her. And she is the reason many of us are doing what we are doing. This picture, I didn't choose this. Wendy chose this picture. She posted this on her Instagram, which I still follow. Listen, we have not heard or truly seen Wendy in the last few months. One of our closest social media people that we know, Jason Lee, who wished her happy birthday also, said he hasn't seen her in 3 months. Listen, this is a heartfelt, gosh, this is a little sad for me. I'm not going to cry or get emotional, but listen, Wendy is the reason that we do hot topics of any kind, whether we call it hot topics or not. Wendy Williams is the reason a lot of these social media personalities are even doing what they are doing. Like, regardless of what you say, regardless of the fun that you make of her, I believe that she was the hardest working woman in show business when it came to talk shows. She was an innovator. She spoke her mind. I looked at old clips of her and I'm like, there is nobody ever that will do it like Wendy Williams. And for that, I just will always try to speak highly of Wendy Williams, wish the best for her, and hope the best for her. So, Wendy, if you come across this anywhere on your social media, I want you to know that I love you. You are the reason that my skin is flawless. You're part of the reason. I'll tell that story another time. And happy birthday to you. Yeah, I hope she's in rehab. You know, that rehab is not enough sometimes. It's all about the mindset. You got to change that mind. Another happy birthday to Avery Wilson. Yeah, yeah. You know what? Listen, anything that you want to do comes with a price. It depends on how much you want to pay and when you're willing to pay it. Happy birthday, Avery Wilson, another Cancer. Now, listen, Avery Wilson is one of the best male singers, and thank you. I almost lost my train of thought. Let's go to the other picture. It's the way he looking at me. You ain't got to look at me like that. Oh, ooh, hmm, hmm. Well, happy birthday. So Avery posted these pictures on his Instagram. Of course, it went viral to the Shade Room and Hollywood Unlocked. God blessed. And well, the people had a problem with it, you know, which is going back into the Black church, Black community, and homosexuality. The comments were everything from "too bad he don't want me" to "he ain't batting for my team." A lot of, I won't even call them homophobic comments because they're not scared, obviously. But it was just a lot of negativity, you know, and it's like, listen, it's his birthday. He has a beautiful body. And let me just say, and I don't believe this is allegedly, Avery Wilson is bisexual. But I know a lot of black women, they won't date a bisexual man because to them, that is gay. We'll talk about that. No, he said it. That ain't allegedly, but for the sake of Pyro Media Network, we'll put that uh, over there. There we go. Right there. Well, right there. Allegedly. Allegedly. Love you, Kwame. That's what I'm here for. Keep you on your toes. So happy birthday. But it's just disheartening. And it really comes into the conversation that we're going to have after the break. And we're leading into, well, in their head, they're dating them. You know how it is. It just really goes into that conversation like, how far have we really come? We keep saying we've come far, and I'll save some of my comments. Stay tuned after the break. But how far have we truly come? Speaking of, big congratulations to, oh Lord, yes. No, I see, and I put husband, Lord forgive me, Bishop O.C. Allen and his husband Rashad. Is it Rashad Allen, Rashad Burgess? Hold on, I want to. Yeah, Rashad Burgess. I hope I'm saying that correctly. They renewed their vows after 20 years. I put in husband like he doesn't have a name. I'm so Bishop O.C. Allen. Well, he is the premier bishop. So I mean, I really want to focus on him also. But him and his husband renewed their vows. The absolute over the top, like most beautiful, luxurious wedding. Let's take a look at the pictures, which have been in People Magazine exclusive. Come on now. Huh? Yeah, I love it. I love it. What we all dream of. They're giving the dream. Uncle Kyrie said he didn't like the outfits. I said that the volume was very loud, but I'm here for all of this. This is very monumental. And you know, Bishop O.C. Allen is, I would say, the if not one of the premier preachers, one of the premier LGBTQIA preachers in the country. We can take those pictures down. Just beautiful. Merry Christmas. I love it. Absolutely gorgeous. And recently, as they renewed their vows, they also, his church, Vision Church of Atlanta, they had a conference called I Elevate. And he had Bishop Jamal Harrison Bryant as a guest in one of their panel discussions. So let's do this. Let's play that clip, and then let's go to break. I'll see y'all in a second.
Good evening, everyone. First, Bishop, thank you for having me. This means more to me than it does to you. I want to get past pleasantries before we have a conversation. I am here because the Black church owes this community an apology. And I wanted to come tonight not just as pastor of New Birth. I wanted to come for the pastors who have hurt you, for the pastors who did not exercise Christ-like compassion. I've gone around the world fighting for Trayvon Martin, for Freddie Gray, for Michael Brown. And in my pulpit, I committed hate crimes. And I needed to come for the blood that drips off my hands.
Your acknowledgement, your humility, and the integrity that you have displayed in this moment means more than you could ever imagine.
Good evening, everyone. First, Bishop, thank you for having me. This means more to me than it does to you.
This episode is sponsored in part by Bullet and Flight Radio. Get ready to uplift your spirit with Bullet and Flight Radio, the world's leading progressive Christian radio station. Experience the vibrant fusion of gospel house music and a rich medley of inspiration from all musical genres that'll make your heart soar. Join their extraordinary lineup of today's trailblazers, visionaries, and voices that matter, all sharing their stories and wisdom. Stay plugged in around the clock as they broadcast unmissable content 24/7. Your go-to station for all things inspiring. Become a pilot today by visiting bulletandflightradio.com. Bullet and Flight Radio. Your story, our station. Step away from the chaos and noise of your daily life. Experience moments for yourself that are calm, serene, and full of peace. A necessary respite to foster growth within you, because self-care should be luxurious. Lux and Noir.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Daryl Walter Show, and we are going to talk about it: the Black church and homosexuality. I'm going to start off by saying this. This is a subject that is one of the reasons I felt like I had to remove myself. For there's that commercial. There's a reason I felt like I had to remove myself from the church, and it's because there's always this constant conversation of Black church and homosexuality. And before we went to commercial, you saw that video with Jamal Bryant and O.C. Allen having that amazing conversation. And if I were to be completely honest, when I first saw that video, I had a roll my eye reaction. I was like, here we go again with the same old apologies. But I took a chance. There was someone called the Theology Network on YouTube. They posted the whole conversation, so I got a chance to see a good portion of the conversation. And of course, I made sure that I took some good notes. One, let me say that I love both Jamal Bryant and O.C. Allen. I think if any two people are capable of bridging the gap between the church and the LGBTQIA plus community, I think it is those two. Not only are they can preach, they have the resources, and I think they have the intellectual background and wherewithal to work with each other and not against each other. But coming back to this conversation, I'm going to do a shameless plug and also have a conversation. Kwame, can we play the video from my Freedom to Love video that I recently put out? Let's play that video.
Angels could come down while I'm singing, right? And sit on everybody's lap and give them $100 bill. And they'll still be like, you know, Daryl, you're gay. You're going to hell. That was great singing. And we thank you for the angels. But the word of God says you're going to hell. So, and people will say like, oh no, Daryl, you're wrong. But that's the truth, right? At the foundation, at the fundamental helm of Christianity overall, if you're gay, you're not inheriting the kingdom of God.
Listen, that video was an amazing. I saw the comments. Somebody said they missed Chico. Who's Chico? Which Chico? But so this video, Freedom to Love, I was talking about my experience growing up in church. Many of you who don't know, I grew up in church, in particular Church of God in Christ, you know, gone through religious trauma, gone through therapy, and here I am on the other side. So I posted this little snippet, and you will be surprised at the negative comments and the defending of church that were underneath the comments on the filmmaker's post, and some on the YouTube also. And I realized it got me to thinking, because I realized people are still uncomfortable and still have issues with the Black church and with homosexuality. Almost like, and I put up here, Stockholm Syndrome, because so many people were defending the church and me telling my story. And why would I put Stockholm Syndrome? I'm calling it church Stockholm Syndrome that I think some people allegedly are suffering from. Because Stockholm Syndrome is a coping mechanism to a captive or abusive situation. People develop positive feelings toward their captors or abusers over time. This condition applies to situations including child abuse, coach athlete abuse, relationship abuse, and I'm just going to throw it in there, church abuse. You know, one of the things when I saw that apology and that snippet from Jamal Bryant when he said the church owes the LGBTQ community an apology, and then it shows some other things. I was like, well, is he acknowledging? What is he apologizing for? Is he acknowledging the offense? The offense, you know. And one of the things that Jamal Bryant said himself, I'm gonna put the link in the video so y'all can watch it. He said himself, he came to OC Allen because a good majority of his population are Black gays. Black gays in the church. Even Jamal Bryant realizes that he's pastoring a bunch of gays. And the part that he said that caught my attention was who loathe themselves. Who loathe themselves. So they look at the Black gay church and other Black gays with judgment. That's me, Daryl, talking. I'm just going to say allegedly. If you say ouch, I'm not talking about you. We just talking. And that got me to thinking, Kwame. It got me to thinking, like, why are people interested in my video? Why are people watching the video? I'm simply talking about my truth. And I'm like, it's almost like a church Stockholm syndrome. People are offended like you're talking about their abuser that they love and cling to. There are so many people who are clinging to church. Hear me out. That they're unwilling to acknowledge the religious trauma they experience at the hands of the church. I wrote it down here because I realized it. I said the problem is not the leaders. The problem is not the pastors. Depending on how you look at it, it's the community. It's not the pastors. It's not the leaders. They get it. They know you were born gay. They know you're not going to go to hell if you're gay. But the issue is, if they come out and say it, they will lose their congregation. A congregation that they have pastored to believe that homosexuality is an abomination. So what say you then? Because I said to myself, how come? I was like, it's a good video, great cinematography. I'm telling a great story. I'm being vulnerable. I'm talking about everything from my family to the church. But for whatever reason, for the Black community, there is this divide that is hard for people to cross when it comes to the Black church and homosexuality. I don't know what it is, but I realize since it's an uncomfortable subject, because I had one woman come on my TikTok and say, "Oh, can we just move on from the subject?" No, we can't. No, ma'am, we can't. Not because you're uncomfortable. And as a matter of fact, what I'm realizing is the fact that people are uncomfortable with talking about homosexuality in the church is more of a reason to continue to have this conversation until it is eradicated. Because it's not the leaders, it's the community. And what do I mean by saying it's the community? It is the community that is perpetuating false narrative, right? That homosexuality is bad. But not only on top of that, you got to defend the church. Yes, we love the church. The church is amazing, but that does not mean that the church is without blame or fault. I live in Vegas. They had the Stellar Awards this week. I saw the girls. And let me say this also, because a lot of these people are getting on Kim Burrell because she don't like homosexuals because she said it. How many of your gospel artists that haven't said it do you think like you that are a part of the LGBTQIA plus community and those who are allies? Because here's the thing. Let's just cut the chase and get to it. We're not talking about are they friendly. We can be friendly with everybody. They love us when we're doing their hair. They love us when we're styling their clothes. They love us when they're spilling the tea on their good Judy after a good church service. They love us when we're at the club. Come on, somebody. They love us when we're fixing them and telling them, yes, queen, yes, honey, you're all of that. But will you show up to my wedding if I get married at the church? Will your pastor marry me if I decide to bring my fiance to the church? Will you show up to my funeral and acknowledge? Do you know how many people I've had call me and said that their friends called me and said if they got married, they don't know if they'd be able to come to their wedding? Their friend. Yeah, and Kim is a wounded warrior. Kim is somebody who's been hurt by a homosexual allegedly. You know what? Let me spill this tea while I'm here on this subject. I'm not gonna name the names, but I grew up Kojic, and there's a young man in the Kojic church, right? I'm not gonna say the names. They tolerate us but love us. Pull them comments up, Kwame. They tolerate us but love us. I'm trying to tell you. And toleration will go a long way. Toleration will allow you to come to the party. Toleration will allow you to come to the church. See, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to apologize and come to an agreement without saying, like, we need to make some changes, without saying, like, yeah, we were wrong in the way that we treated you and actually bringing about change behavior. But that's another conversation. This young man in church, okay, married this young girl, daughter of a bishop, okay, only to find out he was cheating with the young man and ended up going to jail. All kind of story, right? I remember I'm gonna tell a couple of stories real quick. I knew a deacon coming up in church when I was a young wee lad, okay, and I seen him at the bookstore. Okay, I was trying to find myself. I saw him at the bookstore. And he was married with kids. And that didn't go too well because then they found out, they found out and they ostracized him. I knew a pastor of a Kojic church where I grew up. And because he was caught in a compromising position with another man, he was removed from his pastorship. And my question and my thought is when I think about those men, when I think about the young man that I know growing up in church who we went to the club together and hung out together, and one night he walked in the middle of traffic and was killed by a head-on car. What if the church had treated him differently? What if the church had treated them a little bit better? And I don't mean just like, oh, we love you because the Bible says I have to love you, or I'm gonna tolerate you. But what I truly mean is, what if they had really embraced all of who they were so that they could be who they were in the daylight and not just the nighttime, where they don't have to sneak around and hide who they are? Would their life have turned out a little bit differently? And here we are 20 years later in this conversation. You know, Jamal Bryant, I have to say, is an upstanding man. Let me get back to my notes on this because it's a lot. You know, what I love about Jamal Bryant is, yes, she, you know where she stands. Okay, let's say she's a mean woman who doesn't like a lot of people anyway. So gays are probably at the top of her list of hate. Here's the thing. Let me say this, and this is not in Kimberell's defense, but if you've ever had a little experience of the Kojic Church, amazing singers, you're going to shout, amazing time, but it's some mean bitches up in there. And that's why I want to go back to the fact that Jamal Bryant recognized the black gays that are in his church who are self-loathing, because you are going to receive the most hate from a self-loathing black gay man. Whew, I had to say it. I had to say it. Allegedly. Can I say allegedly? Is Kwame going to tell me to say allegedly? Now, here's where Jamal Bryant lost me a little bit, because he said, you know, I want to take this to another level and take it to the word network. No, sir. Although Jamal has resources to the word network, you know, listen, it needs to be on BET. Okay, this conversation between OC Allen, Jamal Bryant needs to be on BET. Oh, and Jamal Bryant, he said, I'm glad I'm here. But he said, I'm your brother in the gospel. We need to call the fathers to the plate. So he called out the Kojic, the Baptist, and the AME also. But you know they're not going to answer. They are not going to answer. They're not going to answer. You know, listen, I think about Carlton Pearson. Okay, Carlton Pearson, a premier bishop, premier man in the gospel. And when he came out with his all-inclusive theology, although we embrace him now and we love on him now, and I love, you know, this is what I love about the black church. I love y'all, but y'all, you know, and it's this back and forth kind of iffy love, because right now everybody love Carlton Pearson, everybody, oh, old Bishop. But I remember the decade where Bishop Carlton Pearson was trash. They called him an abomination. They called him everything, you know, reject of the gospel, everything, because he said there was no hell, and included the gays. You know, Kwame, I think you're right. I think you are partly right, but I think it's deeper than money, right? Because at the end of the day, where you put your money is where your faith is, where your heart is. So I think this is truly a heart issue that we are facing. I think that I'm not excited to continue to have the conversation, but I'm going to continue to have the conversation. One, because there's a lot of self-loathing black gay men in the church. What do I mean by self-loathing black gay men? Oh, let's play this clip. Oh, let's play this clip, Jesus. Let's play this clip. What the Instagram one? Oh, let's play this clip. Oh, this the one. This the one.
Most of my friends are straight men. I don't really hang out with gay people. Don't cancel me. I feel like gay people do too much.
Oh, decorum, right? A lot of people feel like some gay people do too much because there is this constant want for attention of, hey guys, I'm gay. People feel that way, where a lot of flamboyance, a lot of attitude, a lot of sass, nothing wrong with it, but I just feel like time and place matters. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know when to tone it down a little bit. And it's almost as if, like, you see how protective I'm being of my words? Gay people don't have that same protection. Like, you guys could go out here and say everything about straight people and don't face any consequences. Yeah. And then
hold
so,
your
like, you
peace.
see how I gotta talk right hold now, I can't say nothing too crazy because I know if I offend the community, it's clipped. Those rules don't apply to gay people. Damn, like, y'all getting all the privileges, all the rights, all the jobs, and we can't say nothing if we're uncomfortable, but we make you guys uncomfortable and then we're out of here. the loud gay people are the one that gets the attention. And women can relate to that.
Woo! Let me tell you something. You know what those two brothers had in common? You know what those two brothers had? I'm gonna tell you what they had in common. They've been rejected. They are wounded men who have been rejected. Okay. Don't nobody want your funky ass with that funky ass attitude. Oh Lord, help me today, Father. I want to do this right. I said I wasn't going to go down that direction. But this is what I mean by self-loathing. I know a lot of black gay men who don't have a lot of black gay friends. Fine, whatever. But the fact that he was co-signing on the brother's hypocrisy, I said, you know what? I can see what they have in common. I can see what they have in common. Let me tell you something. That gay boy, his feelings got hurt plenty of times. Because I ain't even got to be his type, and I tell you, I turn it down. I go up to him and say, I'll say, I know you're not hitting on me, and I know you don't want me, but I just want you to know I don't want you. That little steaky attitude. And then the guy, this is the problem. And here's the deeper issue. The way they sounded, this is how white people sound about when they talk about black people. How men talk about, they talk about women. I'm sure his daddy is a pastor. Even the girl said, "Oop." And it's not about what you can and you cannot say, but it is the patriarchic. I'm gonna say this right. Let me get all of my good words right now. It is, okay, we're gonna continue this conversation, but it is the patriarchal, misogynistic mentality that they both have, as if you not having gay friends makes you a better gay. And then now you've got a straight man co-signing each other's bullshit while both the women looking to the side of them and like, listen to these two ninjas sound foolish. But here we go again. And it just seems to be, as I grow and evolve, y'all, there just seems to be this deep issue with the black church, the black community, and homosexuality and femininity and anything different. And why we're so concerned about how somebody else acts. Well, it's okay to be gay. I've had family members tell me that. It's okay to be you, but just don't do all that. What is all that? What is all that? Why are we so worried about policing someone else's space? Especially when it comes to the black church and homosexuality. And you know what? We're going to continue this conversation. I'm going to bring more to it because there's a lot more to talk about. And y'all, you know what? It's not even to the straight community. Y'all can join this conversation, but this is to the black gays in the church. Okay, some of y'all mean, some of y'all in denial. Some of y'all are in churches and have Stockholm. What do I mean by Stockholm syndrome? Meaning you go into these churches, you singing in these choirs, you contributing the money, and they will never acknowledge you as a full human being. They will not acknowledge your sexuality. You will continue to feel repressed. You will continue to not feel like a 100% human being because your church is not going to 100% fully acknowledge you, but you stay there because you love your pastor, you love the word, you love the singing. Your mama used to go there. You grew up in that church. Your friends go there. I get it. But somewhere there has to be a common ground of happy meeting to find it is a self-righteous mentality, boys. Major. It is a self-righteous mentality. You know what I'm talking about. You know who and what I'm talking about. And you know what? Let me say this. Let me be honest to take my stuff off of pedestal as if I'm not above reproach. I've been there. I grew up in church and I was judgmental as hell. And I'm not proud of it, but I can recognize and I was able to overcome it. And I was able to step away from church and recognize the unhealthy behavior that I was a part of that was contributing to this issue of the Black church and homosexuality and how people are being treated, how people are being condemned, yet being used at the same time. Still doing the hair. All them people at the Stellars this week. You'll see it when it comes on, laid for the gods. And the children were here this week. And they do it unselfishly. And we play them. Listen, I got 4 minutes, and I'm gonna use all 3.5 of them because Donnie McClurkin, allegedly, Donald Lawrence, allegedly, Kirk Carr, allegedly, Orlando Draper, RIP, allegedly, Ricky Dillard, allegedly, Jonathan Greer, allegedly, homosexuals, allegedly. And we playing their music and we using them. And people going around on tour, singing their songs and praise and worship. Yet and still, deep down inside, a lot of people got a problem with them. I know it's uncomfortable. I know what I said, allegedly. Take a deep breath. It wasn't that bad. But I want y'all to do me a favor. Go to YouTube, watch my episode 77, and many others on Sophia Wellman's YouTube channel. I want y'all to have a great week. I know we talked about a lot of heavy stuff, but listen, I believe in conversation. I believe Ooh, they really are. Listen, I really believe in conversations, and I believe I'm comfortable enough to have these uncomfortable conversations with y'all so that we can be better, okay? It's hot out here. So listen, if you have a dream, no matter what the weather, stick to it. If you have a vision, I want you to see it all the way through. And no matter what, I want you to keep going and don't give up. Until then, I will see you week after next in a couple of weeks with the all new Daryl Walter Show. Until then, I got to go. Bye.